days, since we put the seeds in the paper towel and put it in a place where it's going to get constant heat, and we have successful germination. Out of the 15 seeds, we have had 13 that have germinated, which is fantastic. And once you have confirmed that the root has popped out, by simply looking at it from a window or simply on top of a lamp, you can clearly see that the seed root has popped out. And once that has occurred, it's time to put it into some type of soil mix. Okay, so as I was saying, now that the roots have popped out, it is time for you to plant it into a type of a soil mix. So before I get started with anything, I just want to talk to you all about the type of soil mix that I'm going to be using, as well as the containers that I'm going to be planting them in. So first I want to talk to you about the soil mix. I'm going to be using this coconut peat brick. It's very affordable, a lot of benefits. It can retain a whole lot of water, which is perfect for your seedlings. It's also very light and fluffy, and this is what you need when it comes to your seedlings. If you're going to use something that's barkier, it's not really going to grip onto the seed the way something very light and fluffy would. And that's what you need, because you need it to be in a constantly moist condition, and something that is fine and fluffy that can retain a lot of water is going to give you that. So yeah, I'm going to be using one of these, and the container that I am going to be planting in is one of these. Now you can use a seedling tray like this, but I'm not going to be using a seedling tray because I already know that my seeds have germinated. So I know for sure those are going to pop out of the ground. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it into something like this. And then once they're ready, put them in whatever spot they're going to be at for the rest of its growth or its life. Yeah. So these types of seedling trays would be used if you're planting a whole lot of seeds that don't require a specific condition. So if you're going to be planting like tomato seeds like we did, it requires a lot of heat. So that is why I used the method that I did use, because I was able to give it a source of heat. But for seeds that don't really require that, you can just put them in this tray, and once they've popped up, you can thin them down, and then you can transfer them into whatever you want to transfer them in, separate them. And this is also great for seeds that you do not know the germination rate of. If you're worried a lot of them are not going to germinate, you can just put a whole lot of them in here and work with whatever pops up. So this is really fantastic for that. What I've also noticed with a lot of seeds is that just by giving it a little bit of heat source, with regards to any type of seed, it's going to germinate a lot faster if it didn't get a heat source. But obviously some seeds don't really need that special heat source. So yeah, just a little bit of tips, I guess. So it is now time, ladies and gentlemen, to do the main thing of this part of the video, which is plant our little tarmatas, the seeds, into the little containers that I'm gonna plant them in. So as you can see, we have the roots that have popped out, and we are now going to be planting them in here. Now I've already gone ahead and filled them up and made holes that I'm gonna plant them in. I'm just gonna be putting one in each tray, because these are sort of like my backup, so I don't have to plant a whole lot. So yeah, and to do this you're gonna need a tweezer, and the reason why I use a tweezer is because the root can easily break if you handle it with your hands. So you're just gonna pick one up, and then you are going to plop it in the hole. Now when you are plopping it in the hole, make sure that you're putting it in with the root facing downwards. it just makes it easier for the plant so that it doesn't have to worry about changing its direction when it's growing. So because it's just gonna unfold from the root, and this just makes it a little bit more easier. So yeah, and just plopping them in very gently. Oh, this one came back out. Okay. And then the last one, this one has a really long root, which is fantastic. Okay. Oh, doesn't wanna let go. Okay. And once that's done, you're just gonna pinch the hole close, and yeah, there you have it. So this is day 6 of our journey of growing the second batch of cherry dermatas. And so we went from this to this, and eventually it's gonna look like this. So now I wanted to talk to you guys about alternatives to what you can actually plant these little seeds in that have germinated. So if you do not have access to the fancy containers, well, they're not really fancy, they're quite cheap, but if it's your first time doing this and you don't really want to go out and buy all these special things for your seeds, you can simply use plastic containers that you get fruits or vegetables in from the grocery store. So I have 2 examples here. They had strawberries in them, and I have used them. They're fantastic. I just added a few drainage holes at the bottom, and they have worked. These are just cheap alternatives that you can use instead of having to go and buy more containers or anything like that. It's free, affordable, recycling, which is great for the environment. And I just wanted to give you all a little bit of extra tips, just in case you don't want to go out and buy something specifically for planting these seeds in, when you don't really have to do that at all.